Hello. So in this video, we'll be seeing about the software named InsightIQ. So InsightIQ is a software that is installed on a separate VM. This is not like an usual software that we have bundled with Isilon 1FS itself. So this is a software which is free and you can download this software from the EMC site and you can install it on a virtual machine or a Linux machine. And I will show you how to install this virtual machine at end of this course, and also I'll be showing a demo about setting up a cluster using a simulator that is downloaded from EMC site. Now let's log into the InsightIQ portal. Okay. So I've logged in. So I'll show you. So I have added this before. So I'll show you how to add a. So I'm deleting it. So the cluster gets deleted. So when you log in, this is how it shows. Now you will need to add a cluster so that this InsightIQ will try to monitor the cluster and fetch all the details about the cluster and will give you as a report here, and you can check the performance and monitoring report of that particular Isilon clusters that you have configured. You can check it here. So let's try to add the cluster, and you need to give the Isilon cluster address. That's nothing but the IP. I'll give 192.168.17.11 and username. So there is a username in Isilon under the file provider, and you need to enable that InsightIQ user. So here you can see on the authentication providers tab, go to the go to the membership and roles and file users. So here you'll see InsightIQ, and you have to enable this user by giving the password. So let's give a password and save that. So now we are going to give this particular username and password to authenticate. InsightIQ, and so it's adding. So now both Isilon and InsightIQ has been connected. So now it's adding and it's retrieving the data. So we'll wait for some more time. So once this the cluster is added, then we'll be seeing the other metrics. So before that, let's see the other things. On the settings tab, you can see the monitored clusters. So what are the clusters that are being monitored by this InsightIQ? So in InsightIQ, you can add up to 150 nodes or 8 clusters. Either way, you can add a combination of nodes with 150 clusters, or you can add 8 clusters per InsightIQ. And this InsightIQ, as I told, is a free software that you can download it from the EMC site. And the version of this software is 4.1.388. Coming to the settings, here you have the monitored clusters, and in the status you can see how this InsightIQ monitored clusters are performing. So overall the status is green, and the monitored status, the Isilon cluster 1 is normal, and you can see the last update is not available as it's still adding the cluster. So once it's added, it will show you when was the last time the node, the Isilon and InsightIQ got synced. And also you can enable email alerts. So if you want to send any performance reports on weekly basis or on scheduled basis, then you can configure the SMTP settings and configure the SMTP server, all these details, and you can use the this SMTP option to deliver the reports to your email ID. So enable email ID, enable InsightIQ status email alerts, and you can give the emails, and so this will send an alert when there is when there's an issue with the InsightIQ on the monitoring. And now comes the data store. So data store is nothing but the space where the InsightIQ logs are getting saved. So you can choose two options: either go with the local data store, or you can have a NFS mounted data store. So you can have a separate NFS share where that can be used to mount the data, and those location is used for saving the logs of this Isilon InsightIQ's monitored cluster. So whenever the FC analyst job pushes the data from Isilon to InsightIQ, those logs are getting saved to a space. That space is called the data store. So once the data store has reached 80 or 90%, so we need to refresh or extend the data store space, or you need to delete some old data before it's getting 100% filled off. Here you can see the percentage is 0, and here comes the email. As we saw, you can fill up the SMTP server details to send this InsightIQ will send you the user reports and the alerts. And here comes the users. So here you can add local users, and I want to add a user named test-user, and I'll give the password. So this test user is added. So these users can add only as a read only, and you can also add how many number of users you want. You can add that, and let's try to log in through the user that we created, test user. So it's logged in. So here you can see only a limited access will be there for this read only. So the settings option is graded out, and only the users will be able to get the performance report and all those stuffs. So now again let's log in through the administrator. So here you can see the estimated usable capacity is not available because no file system analytic report have been created. So our Isilon cluster is all set and it's added, but it shows an error that the file system analytic report is not being created. So that means the FSA analyst job that we saw in Isilon, it's not running. So we'll need to run that job to sync the file system data between the InsightIQ and Isilon. So let's run the job in Isilon. Go to job operations, job types, and FS analyze. So all you need is just start the job. So as Isilon and InsightIQ are handshaked already between the IP and the username that we gave. So just starting the job will ensure that both are synced with the file system analytics. So let's see here. So it started, it says progress. It has 10 phases here and 1 of 10. And here you can pause or cancel the job. So here you can view the status of the job. And once that FS analysis job is completed, then you will get the estimated usable capacity as well. So this is the cluster that InsightIQ is monitoring right now. So Isilon cluster 1, the name, the performance detail, the file system details, and here this graph will show you connected clients, like how many number of clients are connected. There are 0 and active clients are 0, and network throughput, current throughput usage, file system usage, CPU usage, everything is 0, and the number of nodes are 3, and the cluster time as well. So let's get into reports. So go to performance report. So this performance report tab will have live performance or manage performance or create your own performance data. So this performance reporting has several metrics that you can check in terms of the cluster. So here we have the report type. So these are the standard report types: the cluster performance, node performance, network performance, client performance. All these metrics are there. So if you want to check the network performance of a cluster, then select the cluster here. So here we have only one cluster, so that's automatically selected. If you have multiple clusters, then we'll have a drop down. Select the cluster that you want and select the report. I'm going for the network performance report. Here you can check the logs. I mean the data range. So from which date you want to which date. And I will go. So right now this is a new cluster that is added. I'll go for the 6th of this month and view report. So now this will show me the external throughput metrics, external throughput packet rate, and protocol operations, average latency, and if any network errors. So these are the metrics that will show under the network performance. So like that, you have cluster performance, node performance, and if you want to check the live data, then go with the current date 16 and go with 16. View report will show you the report. So here you can see node 1, node 2, node 2, node 3, and also you can filter it. If you want to add rule, and let's say I want one particular node, give the node name and apply. So that particular node alone will be fetched, filtered. So here you can see the external network throughput for node 1 alone. So it goes up, down, goes up, down. The operational rate, CPU usage, the disk throughput, and the disk operation rate, and number of active clients here. So it's here 1, 1, and clients connected is 1. So these are things that will show you, and also you can add rule, delete rule, and add a rule and put a path. Let's say I want to put a path, and so let's say I'll go with ifs/data. This is the path I want to search. Apply. Then this will find out for that particular path alone if at all any kind of issues. So if the user is reporting that their share is not accessible or kind of any performance issue, you can put that particular shares path here and check the data with the data range that the user is claiming. And the other thing that we can see here is, so if you want to break out any metrics, we can do that. So there are breakout options available that we'll see now. I will select the cluster performance report and remove the path, the filter, and now view report. So this will show me the external network throughput, and here are the breakout options. So I can break out this particular metric by client or protocol or operation class or direction. So now let me break out by the operation class. So this will show the metrics according to the breakout class that has been available on those particular time. So now I'm going to view report. So here you can see I have break out this particular metric with the operation class. The operations are read, write, create, delete, so all those operations. So here you can see that will show the percentage of each operations. Likewise, I want to check the active clients breakout by node. So here it will show the nodes. So on node 1 there are 100%, and node 3 and node 2 are 0. So the same, and jobs, so I want to view the job breakout by job ID. So it will show on the job ID, and the same for job workers. So I'm doing it on the job type. So multi-scan, warm queue, shadow store, delete, so all these things. So this is how you break out each matrix according to their need. So let's say if you want to find out a node which is consuming where there are more number of clients connected, so you can do that by checking the connected clients matrix using the nodes. So these are the options that are available on the live performance reporting. Now we'll check on the manage performance reporting. And before that, here we have an option called zoom level. So if you want to check on the zoom level, so if you want to check only on that particular timing, say on the last 1 hour or last 30 minutes or last 6 hours, so you can select this zoom level to check the metrics on that particular day or timing. So let's say I want to check the last 6 hours, and if you click this, then I'll get the last 6 hours from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. I'll get the metrics. Just I want to check the last 1 hour, then I'll get from 5:10 to 6:10 p.m. So like this you can check the zoom level. So here are the pre-configured zoom level available: 1 month, 1 week, 3 days, 1 day, 12 hours, 6 hours, and 1 hour. Now we'll check the managed performance report. So here we can create our own customized performance report. So let's now create a new report. There are some standard templates available that you can select, and so here are the standard reports. So let's say if you want to check the metrics of cluster related performance, and go for this particular report, and when you want to check the node performance, then go for this report, and the same for job or cluster events, all those things. So these are some pre-configured standard templates, you can use it. Or if you want to customize your own, then create a form blank report and name it report 1. And here there are report types. So if you want to check the live performance report, go for this, or if you want to schedule this performance report, schedule this, and it will ask you what is the reporting period that you need. So I want to get a report for every 24 hours, I mean every 1 day, then you can select this. So like that there are reporting period till 1 year, so you can check that. And schedule and delivery, so when you want this particular report to be delivered according to the schedule. So if you want to on the daily basis or weekly basis, let's say I want on weekly basis on every Monday, so every Monday I'll get this report at 7:30 a.m. and through which medium I have to send this report. So this is through the email, so I have to check this and give the email option. So I'm giving the email. So every Monday 7:30 a.m. I'll get a report with the 24 hours period to this email ID. So this is how it works. And what are the metrics that we are going to get is the one that we'll be selecting here. So on the performance module 1, select the report. So here are the available metrics that you can choose. So these are the metrics that are available. Let's say I want to check something related to clients, go for active clients. And if you want to check something related to CPU usage, or the deduplication summary, or the disk IOPS, and the external network errors, or something related to the cache L1, L2, L3. And if you want to check something related to the jobs, go for job workers, job, and job service. And so something related to the lock in the file system lock, then go for this file system log events. And it will ask you for the breakout entity, I mean on which breakout you need, whether on the path or node basis or node pool. I'll go with node and add the second module. Now this time I'll go with CPU usage, and breakout is none. And the third one, go for the active clients by protocol, and the fourth one, cluster capacity. So like this you can select as much as metrics that you need by just clicking add another performance module. So after the client summary, now I'm going to save and finish. So once done, so it will just select the cluster, and select the report. So our report is report number 1, view report. So it will show it here. So these are the metrics that performance modules that we selected. So here you can see the logged file system, and you can change the breakout path. So it will show all the path. So what are the file system events that has been logged, it will show here. And CPU usage. So when you check on the node wise, you can see on the node wise here. Active clients on the node wise it's showing here. Cluster capacity, let's say on node wise 34, 34 and 31% used. So this is a client summary. So these are the active clients that are granted, you can see here. So these are the things that we can do on the customizing a new performance report, and this report will be sent on as per the schedule to the email ID that we have mentioned. Here you can check the scheduled performance report. So here we have scheduled our performance report report 1 on weekly on every Monday. So it shows that next run when it's going to next run, and if you want to generate it now, then you can do it here. You can edit, delete here. And what are the generated reports? So there are no generated reports here, I mean the archive reports. So once a report is generated, that will go to this archive and it will get saved here. And that's all about the performance reporting tab. We'll move on to the file system reporting. On the file system reporting, we'll be seeing more about the capacity and file system related things. So first one is a capacity reporting. So it will show you the entire capacity of the cluster, the total capacity, the used capacity, the writable, the remaining, and the capacity that has been reserved for virtual hot spare. So all those things that will show here. So here you can see the total capacity is 56.2 GB and 0 has been unprovisioned, and the capacity reserved for VHS is 24.1, writable is 771 MB, and the remaining capacity is 31.3 GB. And this will also show us the forecast of the capacity, so that we can check it here. We can also filter it by the node pools. We have only one node pool, so I have filtered it on the node pool wise, and you can select the capacity, I mean the date, the range from where you want to find out the capacity, and that it will show here. View report, and if you want to check the current one, then view current, it will show the current capacity usage. So these are the things available on the capacity forecast. So here you can see, we can check and uncheck the capacity that you want to see, total capacity, the provision capacity, the writable. So all those things you can see here. This dotted line is 90% of over provisioned capacity limit. And so this overhead estimation based on the FSA report. So according to the FSA report that is sent from Isilon, it will show the overhead estimation. So this is the estimated capacity usable remaining according to the latest FSA that has been sent from Isilon. So now we'll move to the file system analytics. On the file system analytics, you can see the data properties and the data usage. And here you can see the FSA report. So we have only one report on August 13th present. Select that report and data properties. Click view. It will show the properties of that particular FSA report. So that's on 8/13/2020 at 8:20 p.m. Here you can see the directories available. So data home Isilon, you can just get into the directory and find out the files and folders inside that directory, and also the size as well. So coming down here you can see the logical and physical size of each files and folders. So here it will show the file count by last changed. So on the last 7 days we have one particular file that got changed. Here are the breakout options that are available, and also you can download this as a CSV. So if you want to further project this particular data to your client or to your management, then you can just download this as a CSV and you can make changes and use that as a reporting. data. So here you can do the filters and add role. You can add the filters by physical size, tier, or access time. All those things you can do. And the data usage. So here you can see the data usage. That will show the top 1000 files and top 1000 directories. So let's say if a customer wants to know what are the files that has been not used for more than one particular period of time, then you can easily sort out that particular file by accessing the old changed or old access time. It will list out the files and folders that are being accessed according to their age. So here you can see the created time, the changed time, and accessed, like how many days before this has been done. And here you can see the files, and this is the folders. So these two things are available in the file system analytics inside the data usage report type. And coming to the deduplication reporting, so this deduplication reporting is nothing but that will show the deduplication reports that has been done in the Isilon. So in our case, there is no deduplication job that has been run successfully in the Isilon, so that's why it's not showing any reports here. So once we run the report on the Isilon side, that particular report will be showing here, and also you can list all the reports of the deduplication, and that will show you the capacity that has been saved, gained upon running this deduplication and all those stuff. Coming to the quota reporting. So this quota reporting is something similar to the smart quota. So exactly it pulls the data from the smart quota and it will show here from the FSA. So this will show the capacity of each share. I mean the smart quota put hard limit, soft limit, advisory limit, and the capacity that has been used. So this is showing in the live data, and it will show if you have any FSA that has been sent from Isilon. So let's say I want to check for IFS data test share. It will show the hard limit, soft limit, advisory limit, all those things as a graphical representation. And if I want to check for IFS data, that will show the hard limit as 50 GB. So these are all the things that you can see, and inside one particular directory you can see how many number of quotas applied and quotas applied under path. So you can find all those things here, and also you can get into the data folder and you can check the capacity used by each files and folders inside one particular parent directory. So I want to check here. So these are all the things that are available inside this particular share. And you can select the range if you want to find. So let's say user is asking a data where user wants to know what is the capacity of one particular share on the last month. So you can find out that using this by selecting the range on the last month. Let's say on the August 2 to August 6, you can just view report, and during that particular time it will check for the capacity and it will show here. So the FSA log will be there, and using that FSA log I mean InsightIQ will be able to fetch the data during that particular time, how much capacity was there on this particular share. So with that we'll be able to find out those details on the quota reporting. And also for quota reporting you need the quota reporting smart quota software on the Isilon side, so that that can fetch the details of quota through this FSA to this InsightIQ tool. And we saw pretty much on the settings tab. So if you want to add a new cluster, go for adding a new cluster by just giving the IP and the username and password. And also you can export and import the data store. So if you want to move a cluster from monitoring one InsightIQ to another InsightIQ, you can move it through exporting and importing the data store. Status will show you the status of all the clusters and the data store, where the logs are getting saved, the FSS reports are getting saved on this data store, And for email configuration, you will need to set up the SFTP server configuration details here. And users, you can create the users local, and so that the local users will be able to add the log in and get the details. And if you want to check out the version, as I told you earlier, so you can see here the version 4.1.388, and here you can see the data store usage, and here the InsightIQ status as green. So if the data store or any other events that has been occurring on the InsightIQ, then this InsightIQ status will change to amber and red according to the issues that is happening on the InsightIQ tool. So that's it on the InsightIQ. We'll see you in the next lecture.